Hello, good evening, everyone. Um, so let me start sharing the screen. So are you guys able to hear me? I think I can.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. And let add everyone to the meeting. So we will wait for 2-3 minutes. Then we will probably start. And today, today we will be wrapping it up bit quickly because now I think today is holiday, right? So we will probably try to look into some important thing, and then we will try to wrap it off. So I think I have uploaded the previous class lecture in the the YouTube channel. I think you are able to see it, right? So does anybody have any questions from the previous class? So before starting this class, I would like to take any questions if you have anything from your end. Otherwise, we will go ahead and start the class within 2 minutes. You can just text it in the chat box so that I can see, and based on that I will you know I will unmute them so that they can ask their question. Okay, I see. uh, Yukti, I think you can go to youtube.com and you can type Venkata Sai Charan. So here you can see the previous class lecture, so the whole 1 hour channel. So this is my official channel, so you can do it from here, or otherwise. Is that okay? Share the link. So towards the end of the meeting I will share the link. Okay, Ajit? Okay, okay. So yeah, so the J Abdul, what you can do is we have covered some basic topics like introduction to compilers, I mean how the programming, how to set up the programming environment and all this stuff. So what you can do is you can attend this class, there is no issue. Otherwise you can go to YouTube and you can type Venkata Sai Charan and we can see the channel. So here so this is the channel. So you can probably, I think there are more than 96 people here, so I think we are good to start. So I will start the class. So is there anything that we can discuss, or shall we start the class? So shall we start the class? I just need your replies from in the chat box so that we can officially start the class. So okay, 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 cool. So let me share the screen. I think so. We have around 100. Okay, that is good number. So hello guys, good evening. Welcome you all to this tutorial class 2 for problem solving through C programming NPTEL online course. So this is Venkata Sai Charan. So I think what we have discussed in the earlier class. So this is the just recap. So we have seen what is algorithms and what is flowcharts and how to represent the algorithm in flowcharts and pseudocode. So we have seen it, and then we discussed about how to set up the C development environment, so that I have shown in the MacBook, or you can do the same with the Windows or Linux environment. And then we have looked into how the C compilation process works, and what kind of things might happen at the compiler, and then what is the assembler and what is the linker. And then we have basically seen about what is data types and variables. So we have touched the surface of that area. So now we will look into some exciting things, like what is the operator, and what is the precedence of the operators, and then we will jump into the functions. So what is functions and its basics as well. Then we will look into what is library functions, and what is the difference between library functions and user defined functions. So how to declare and define the functions, and how to call those functions from your code. So this will be mostly a hands on session. Then we will try to look into the scope. So what we can see is we can try to see the scope of the variable, and some programming stuff as well. And finally we will take some questions from this lecture, and then we will wind up. So this is the high level agenda. So sorry guys, I can't admit more than 100, I guess. So sorry, I'm really sorry for this. So what I will do is, from the next time onwards, I will share, I will try to stream it off in the YouTube channel, so that it will be helpful. If anybody can't able to join the meeting link, they can try to access that thing. So let me jump in. Oh, I can't add more people, sorry. So this is the agenda. So we will see what is operators, precedence, and all this stuff. So last time when we have discussed about arithmetic operations, we have stuck in this particular place. So I said that I will come back with you how to evaluate this particular expression. Let's say 10 plus 20 star 30. That means, so how this particular operation will be executed by the compiler. So this is very important to understand, because what will be the output of this particular thing will define the control flow of program. So mostly C programs are just like putting the variables into, putting the values into the, assigning the values to the variables, and performing the operations on the variables to alter the flow of the program. So what happens exactly when the compiler try to C compiler try to find out what will be the how to evaluate this particular statement. So this is what we are going to look. So in order to understand what is the how C compiler will try to evaluate this program, we need to understand some basic concepts called operators, precedence, and associativity. So before going to the associativity, we need to understand the precedence. So if you need to evaluate any arithmetic expressions with values in it, so you need to understand this operator precedence. So operator precedence basically means you try to there are some operators which are having more value than other operators. So precedence means defining, compiler will judge which particular thing to execute before the others. So this is like priority, you can say that this is a kind of priority. So if you see operate this, if you see this table, so this is the particular table. If you see this particular table, you can see that the highest precedence for is given to this parenthesis operation. That means so if any of the arithmetic operation is evaluated by the compiler, so it will try to execute the block which is there in between the parentheses. So this is going to be having the highest priority. So that particular block which is in between the parentheses will be executed or evaluated first. So that particular calculation will be done. Then second to that, you have this Boolean operators like not, and after that we have arithmetic. So arithmetic also we have two categories like star, I mean multiplication, division and modulo operator have high precedence than plus and minus. And after arithmetic operations we will have the precedence for less than or greater than, which are basically called as relational comparison operators. Then we will have equality precedence for equality comparisons, then followed by logical and or equal to, and lowest precedence will be given to the comma. So you will understand more clearly when we are trying to look into some examples. For the time being we will not look into the associativity part, so we will try to look into the precedence part. So if you take the same operator, so let's say example 10 plus 20 star 30. So now you can see that from this table you can see that multiplication and division and remainder modulo operator, remainder and then modulo operator has highest precedence than add and negative. So what it will happen is that, so these two things will go into first, so because it is given in this thing. So highest precedence will be given to this star, so these two will be given priority. So 20 star 30 will be calculated. Then after 20 star 30, so 2 3s are 600. So then this particular operator having the next precedence, so that means plus, so 600 plus 10, so the final output will be the 610. So this is how the compiler evaluates this particular arithmetic operations. So you can see this is just a little more elaborated example of the same thing. So for this one 10 plus 20 star 30 is calculated just like 20 star 30 plus 10. So first these two will be evaluated, then the I mean the addition, I mean 600 will be added to the 10, and then totally we will be getting 610. And this is not how it is. So this is the wrong calculation, because star has highest precedence than the plus operator. So now we will look into another example. So 50 minus 2 star 15. So that means so now you can see what will happen. So minus and star, so that means which is having the highest precedence. So it will have the star have the highest precedence, so it will be evaluated just like this. 15 2 star 15, that means 30. Then it will be evaluated 50 minus 30, that is equal to 20. So now we can understand that based on this precedence table we can we can understand how the compiler will evaluate these arithmetic expressions. Let's say in a case where there are two operators which are having the same precedence value, then how it will work? So this is the next question that we are going to address. For understanding this one, we need to understand the associativity. So associativity basically is just like when two operators have the same precedence, then whether it's going to evaluate from left to right or right to left, so that will be decided by the associativity. For example, if you see this particular one, star and divided by, that means multiplication and division has same precedence. So how these kind of expressions will be evaluated? Let's say 100 divided by 10 star 10. So that means so in order to understand this associativity, we need to understand this table. So some of the expressions will be left to right, and let's say in case of assigning operator it will be right to left. So if you can able to see for star divided by and modulo operator, the associativity will be left to right. So that means the compiler will start evaluating the expressions which is from left, then it will calculate something, and then it will do the remaining operation with the whatever is remaining on the right side. So from left to right, the flow of the execution will follow. So for evaluating this expression, what it will happen? So since this star and multiplication have the same precedence, so associativity will be left to right. That means 100 divided by 10 will happen first. So then whatever is the output, that will be multiplied by the 10. So we will look into that operator associativity with this example. So let's say associativity, so it is having same precedence, so associativity will be left to right. So 100 divided by 10 equal to 10, and 10, the remaining is 10 star 10, which is 100. So that means it will be evaluated like this. So now it is the same question. So now we will look into some other example. So how to evaluate such kind of long statements. Let's say 100 plus 200 divided by 10 minus 3 star 10. So how it will be associated in order to, so most probably if you are going to some competitive exams, so these kind of questions will be quite common. So they will ask what is the precedence, so you need to evaluate the arithmetic expressions. So this is how it will be. So let's say 10, let's consider this example. So in this thing, star and divided by having the same precedence, so and plus and minus are having the less precedence, so associativity will be left to right. So what, from left to right the compiler will start. So first it will evaluate 20 200 divided by 10, which is equal to 20. So then what it will do, it will do the second precedence will be, since star and multiplication has the same precedence, so the next expression evaluated will be 3 star 10 from left to right, so it will be 30. So then after evaluating this one, so it will be added. So again the precedence will be left to right. So because plus and minus having the same precedence, so 100 will be added to 20, which is equal to 120. Then this 120 will be added to the 3 star 10, that is equal to 30. So the operator in between these two is like minus, that means 120 minus 30, which is equal to 90. So you need to understand what is precedence and what is associativity. So so then based on that it will be working like that. So this is how it will be. And now I will take a quick break and try to understand if you have any queries from your end. So I will take any queries if you have any queries. So Tisha, so sir, does multiply has more priority than divide? So in which example you are asking? So basically, if you are talking about the precedence, so precedence of the multiplication and the division will be the same, but associativity will come from the left to right. So whatever the expression which is there, whether it's a multiplication or division, whichever is the left, which it will execute first, then followed by the other one. Is there any other questions? Yes, I will share the Google document, don't worry. So can you explain, Sagar? Yeah, sure. So let's say operator, so we will take as per the request by the Sagar, we will look into this one more time. So 100 star 200, so this is the expression. So how to evaluate this particular expression? So in this particular expression we have plus divided by minus star. So highest precedence will be given to star and divided by. So either this should execute first or this should execute, but the precedence of the same those two operators will be same. So the associativity will come from left to right. So when the compiler is reading from left to right, so the expression, first expression, it will be evaluated. That means 200 divided by 10, so which is 20. So now it is done. Then second highest precedence is given to this operator. So 3 star 10, it will be calculated 30. So then again those two operations are performed. The next precedence is given to plus and minus. So plus and minus is also having the associativity rule left to right. So I think, yeah, left to right, right? So what it will happen is it will come again 10 plus 20, 100 plus 20, which is equal to 120. and 120, the final value that is left is 30. So 120 minus 30, which is equal to 90. So this is how the evaluation of a long expression will be calculated. Sorry, I think we have more. I will admit also. Will Tisha, so I didn't get your question. So can you please operation of this question mark? So you will get to know if you are looking into the Q&A session. So when you are looking into the evaluating of if conditions, so there is a special case where you will know, you will get to see this question mark. Yes, yes, Nichara, you are correct. Yes, associativity will be left to right. So that means whatever the expression comes in the left, uh, it will be evaluated first. Share in the chat now. I didn't understand. CSE UG 2021. Okay. If you have any other questions, we will stop here. Otherwise, we can. Yeah, we can. I will share the Google documents towards the end of this class. Don't worry. So next, now we will look into the another part called variables and constants. So I think we have seen that in the previous class as well. So variable is just like a holder. So you can consider this one as you know you know class. So these are all the memory, let's say. uh, so variable is like name, that is given to the particular memory location. Let's say this is a name. So name, this will store a particular value. So data type will decide the type of the class. So basically means what kind of data that you want to store, whether it's an integer variable or a float variable or a double variable or a character variable. So it will decide. So let's say int a equal to 10 means, so this 10 will be stored in a particular location, and that will be having the integer data type, and it will hold the value of this particular address to perform the operations. So this is the variable. So let's say how we can assign a variable in the sense int g equal to 20, something like that. So there are some things called tokens in this C programming language. So I mean, these are all like keywords and all this stuff. So you need to understand variables name should be in a particular format. So it should start from it must begin with either a letter or underscore, or uppercase and lowercase. Let's say if I type, let me type something here. So this apple equal to 10 is different from apple equal to 10. That means these two will be considered as a different variables in by the C compiler. So which is case, that means C is a case sensitive. So there are some rules. So either a variable should start from underscore or a number. It should not start underscore or a character. It should not start with numbers. So like, so which is a wrong thing to do. compiler will throw the error. And there are another kind of variables are called as a constant. So the constant means, let's say if you assign a value to a variable, so it will hold that value for a temporary time period. That means if you try to update the value of that particular variable, that variable value will be changed. But whereas coming to the constant, so the constants are, like once you have assigned a particular value to the constant, so it will not be altered during its execution. So these are called as, fixed values that you can use. Let's say if you want to calculate the area of a circle, so area of circle is pi r square. That means you can save the constant value pi equal to 22/7, which will not be altered throughout your program execution. So that kind of variables or that kind of things will be assigned as a constant. So now we will look into some examples. So there are numeric constants and there are character constants. So numeric constants are again divided into integer constants and the real constants, and character constants are like single character constants or string constants. So this is very simple thing. So I think we have seen how to use the variables in the previous class. Now we will look into how to use the constants. That means there are two ways that you can define the constant in your C program, by using hash define preprocessor, or you can use the constant keyword directly. So now we will quickly jump into the C programming environment. So this is the sample program that I have written for you. So there are two ways that you can declare the constant. So first one was hash define stamp. So stamp is a variable that I would like to assign it as to 111, which is an integer constant. So you can define the constant like this. Let's say for the time being, if we are able to let me clear the screen. So if you are trying to uh, compile this program, and stamp value will be 111, which will not be altered throughout the program. So let's say /constant, so it will be 111. So what if I try to change the constant? So I am trying to change the constant to 100, and the moment I hit the enter and come to the next line, you can see that there is some error. So because the intelligence of the this Visual Studio Code will tell you that this operation is not valid because it is a constant. So now what I will do is I will just try to print the constant. I tried to update the value, right? I tried to print the same value again into the screen. So if you compile the code, you will immediately see one error generated by the compiler, which is called stamp cannot be changed, because uh, it is a constant value that is defined by the preprocessor. So these are called as preprocessor directives. So you can
Sir,
yes.
can you increase the font size? It's not visible clearly.
Oh, I see. Just think. Are you able to see right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Sorry for that. So
About the use of
what?
stamp.
So stamp is just like any other constant variable. So I am just writing this for an example. Um, the use case of the stamp is not very particular in this case. So I will. It is like the value of that particular. I want to write a program where the stamp value should not be altered throughout that particular program execution, right? So in such cases, the value will be assigned as a constant, like this hash defined stamp equal to 111. You got it? Hello.
So I got it.
Okay. So let's say I for just to differentiate between the the variable and the constant, so I will try to declare some variable called a equal to 10. Okay, a equal to 10, and I will try to print the value of a. Okay, so printf percentage d comma a, right? So if I try to, let me clear the screen. So if I try to compile it, and so okay, this will be the case. So mostly I will say, okay, value of a equal to, so it should be, okay, let me recompile it again. So the value of a is 10, right? So if I try to change it in the code sometime after, so we have defined a equal to 10, right? So a I am not I am trying to change the value of a to 20, which is a legal operation, because the variables are like, variable is itself as self-explanatory. Variable means the thing which is changing, so you can change the variable, so there is no error in this case. And you can see the value of a equal to 20, which is not the 10. In case of, if it is a constant variable, constant value, you will get the error right away. You got my point, right? So similarly you can see that so this is one way of defining the constant. The another way is defining the constant with a const keyword. So you can define whatever constants in your program, you can just define it like this. So const int length equal to 10, const int width equal to 5. So similarly you can define the character constants or string constants as well. But so you need to be very careful, the constant values cannot be changed throughout your program, whereas variable values you can change it according to your program execution. So you should define the values based on your comfort, or your logic. So this is about constant. So I think we have seen, is there any question? uh, so now I think we have seen the constants and the difference between variables and the constants. So now we will try to look into the functions, so which is very much important concept in the C programming. So you need to understand and you need to use the functions very thoroughly, and you need to know how to define the functions, how to declare and define the functions, and how to call the functions from your main program. So these three things are very important. So if you ask me what is function, so the function is just nothing but a group of statements that need to be put together to perform a particular task. So I think somebody has unmuted. I kindly request everybody to mute yourself, because you are disturbing others. Okay, so what we will do is, so what I'm thinking, let's say if you are trying to write a program in according to your logic, and you want to perform some particular task which is needed, then you can call some function. So these are like these are just like something like this. So let me hold. So this is your main program. So while executing the main program, you want to calculate something interest or something. So so the task should be repeatable in sense. So what we will try to do is, we will call the function and we will do particular task, and then we will come back. So this is how it will be. I think you will get a better understanding when we are actually trying to write the code, and understand the function, how the functions will written in detail. So there are broadly two kinds of functions. So first functions are called as library functions. So C has so many set. Hello, sorry. So C function has so many library functions. So for example, what we are using here, printf. So we haven't written the code for printf. So somebody has done that, and we are just including that header file in this thing, in which the logic of printf will be there, and we are using that particular function. So these kind of functions are called as library functions. So let's say if you want to perform a square root of a particular value, then you can just include math.h header file and you can perform the square root function. So this is called library functions. And the second kind of functions are called as user defined functions. So these are like as a programmer, we define the functions for our custom purposes, and we will try to define those function with some code, and then we will call the function from our main program. So we will try to look into these two programs from from a coding perspective, how you can do this thing. So this is how a function will look like. So the return type of function will be there, and the function name, and it is having the set of parameters. So it is not necessary that every time it should have a set of parameters. So the parameters is optional. So if you want, you can pass the parameters, or you cannot you can just write a function without parameters as well. Then you need to define the function in the body section, just like how we are writing the main, we will just do the same thing. So then I think it's better we go to this particular thing. We will try to look into some library functions and the user defined functions, and then we will try to come back and see what is happening. So I think this code, this screen is visible to you. I'm writing the code. So hash include yes. So what I am trying to do is, in this program I am trying to this is a library function, so I would just like to demonstrate how to calculate the square root of a particular value by using library function. So I am writing just int main. So what we will do, we will define float a equal to 10, so a equal to 64, and printf, what I will try to do is, I will try to percentage of s. So you can see sqrt. So if you want to use sqrt, you just need to include hash include math.h sqrt. So you can pass either a. So what we will try to compile the code. Let me compile the code. It is we will try to for the timing I will just write 64. So clang okay, I did a mistake, sorry. So clang library underscore func dot c hyphen o so dot slash lib. So you can see the square root of 84 is equal to 8.00. So we haven't written the code of that particular SQRT. So there are some functions which are predefined and given as a header files, which we can include just like this. So these are called as library functions. So printf, SQRT, and all this stuff. So you can go and do some research in about this library functions and how to use them. And now we will come back to this user defined header user defined function. So what I will try to do is I will just try to calculate maximum of two numbers. So let's say as a programmer, I pass two numbers and I want to find out the maximum of these two numbers, and I will do that I just want to do that every time. So what I will do is I will define a user defined function for calculating the maximum of two values, and I will call it from my main program, and we will just see how to do that. And in this process I would like to give you one more thing. So we will try to read the values from the command line. So that means we are not going to assign the value. So I just want to take the input right away from the user, then I will try to perform the operation, and I just want to show the user that whatever is the biggest value in this particular two values that is passed by the user. So this is the high level agenda for the program which I am writing. So for this what you need to do is hash include so I will just I would dot h, so int main. So first thing what we need to do is I just want to read the number from the user. So I will try to ask the user, hey user, can you just enter the values to find out the maximum. So I am writing this slash n. So we will look into this, what is slash n and slash t and all this stuff. So basically it will give the control to the next flow. Slash n means new line. So we will discuss that very thoroughly in the next class probably. So here I am writing a I am trying to print something onto the user screen. So now we would like to read values from the user terminal or command prompt, right? So for this there is some special operator called scanf. So how to use the scanf we will see. So I am trying to declare two values to store the values a comma b. So what I will try to do is so there is no values in a and b. What we will do is we will scanf. So scanf is very much simple and straightforward. So we are trying to read the integer values, right? So I am writing %d, and where this value has to be stored, that you need to give. So you need to give ampersand and the variable name. That means, so what we are trying to say is we are trying to tell the compiler that hey compiler, there is some integer variable is reading from the user, and you need to store that particular value in a. So this is what this particular scanf statement means. So ampersand means the address operator. So we are trying to store the value of the input that is read from the command line to the A's address. So this is what we are actually trying to do. So similarly we will read, so we need to read two values, right? So we will write another scanf as well. So we will write so %d, because we are reading the integer value, and we will try to save this one in the location of b. So we have read two values. So now what we need to do as a programmer, okay, we have written we have read two values. So now we need to calculate the maximum of this particular two numbers. So because we don't have the logic, we need to write our own logic. So what we will try to do is, I will say, I will declare another variable called result. So result, what we will try to do is result equal to maximum of a comma b. So here we need to understand very carefully. So there is no function called maximum. So let's say this is our own function, so user defined function. So there is three parts of function. So declaring the function, defining the function, and calling the function. So first we need to declare, we need to tell the compiler that there is some function called maximum, which will take two arguments which are integers. So we need to come here and we need to declare um, we need to declare these functions. So int maximum, so it should return a value, right? So that's why the return type of this particular one is integer for my case. So and int num1 comma int num2. So this is called, this particular statement is called as declaring a function. So that means we are telling the compiler that okay, there should be some function in this program with this particular thing. So it is having the integer return type, and which is having the name as maximum, and it will take two arguments which are integers. So now we have integer, we have declared a function. So what is the logic of this function? We need to define it in a, there are so many places that you can write. So best possible way is, so int main is a function, right? So similarly we will write int maximum, which will take two values, int num1 comma int num2. So what it will do is, I'm so don't worry about right now. Whatever I'm writing is just like, you don't know this thing, I'm writing a if else statement. So don't worry about it. If you are able to understand the logic, you are well and good. Otherwise we will try to cover this one very clearly in the next class. So don't worry. So what I am trying to say to the compiler is, like, if number 1 is greater than number 2, what you will do is return number 1. So if in these two values, if the number 1 is bigger than number 2, I just want to return this number because it is a bigger one. So I just want to know the maximum. So if it was not the case, we want, so if number 1 is not greater than number 2, that means number 2 is bigger one. So I would like to return number 2. Okay, cool. So now we have written the logic of this particular function. So what it should do, so this is called, so first we have written the declaring part. So this is called definition of a function. So now we have told the compiler that there should be one function which is of maximum, and so the declaration part always should terminate with semicolon. Please do remember this one. And when we are writing the code, defining the code, we will just write the logic like this, which is called definition of a program. There should not be any semicolon. It is just like int main function. So we have then called definition. So this is called declaration, this is called definition, and in our main program, all the programs should start, any C program will start executing from main. So in main, if it encounters any particular thing, so it will go to that particular program and try to execute that particular program, and again the control flow will come back to this particular place. So for example, I will tell you this one with a clear example. Let's say let's say we are executing the main, so we have written some printf statements and all this stuff. So whenever it hits the function one call, so it will call this particular function and it will do this logic, and again the control flow will come back to this particular place, and again it will start executing the subsequent statements. And again if it enters any function, so this will go to the function called 2, and function called 2, in let's say in case this is called as chain of functional execution. So in function 2, if there is any function 3, it will go to function 3, then the state returns to function 2, then it execute the statements which are below the function 3 call, and again it will come back to the main code. So this is called as control flow of the program which is happening. So you don't need to worry about it right now. So we will just try to concentrate on just one function. So we have started executing the main program, and then we will try to execute. Yeah,
I have one doubt.
yeah, sure, go ahead.
Sir, in you have wrote two scanfs now, sir. Ampersand A and another scanf ampersand B.
Yes.
Sir, we can write that ampersand A comma P in only one scanf.
Yeah, yes, we can write it. I am just showing because this is the first class, so you might be knowing it, so some of the students can't be understanding if I write two statements in a one go. So that's why I have written it. So what you are saying is right. So scanf, you can write it as just %d, and you can tell the compiler that the first value should go to A and the second value should go to B. So this is also valid, you don't need to worry about that. So
Okay, sir.
huh?
Okay, sir.
Cool. So now we have called result, so we will try to print the result, printf. So %d, so return value should also be int, so we will try to print result with a semicolon. Okay, so now we are good to go, everything. So our user defined function is ready. So we have declared the function, and we have defined the function, and we have called that particular function. And now one thing we missed, so we have written as int main, so we just need to say that we don't need to return anything, so return 0. Okay, so now what we will do is we will try to compile the code. I think everybody is good with the code, right? So what I am trying to do is clang user func.c -o user func. Okay, my bad, sorry. So we are ready. So user func is there, user fun is there. So we will try to read the values from the user, and then we will find out which one is maximum. So this is our main goal is. So what we will do is user fun. So hey user, so you can just enter the values to find out the maximum. I will say 123 is the first value, and the second value is 455. So you can see that, is from this particular statement the control flow will transfer to this particular function where it executed the logic. And so because number 2 is bigger than number 1, so here the if condition will fail and it will come to this particular place, and number 2 will be returned, and that particular number 2 is printed over here. So this is how we should write our own custom defined functions, so which are called as user defined function. So this is about today's thing. So I think I'm done with the thing. So we will take any, I would like to take any questions if you have any. Otherwise we will just do a quick quiz and we will try to wrap off today's lecture. Does anybody have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, cool. So
No, sir.
okay, we will take the quick quiz. So we will see the first question. So all keywords in C are in lowercase, in uppercase, or in camel case, and none of the above. So just type your answer in the lowercase. Yeah, yeah. So sir, can you explain about the months table? So I didn't understand your question. So maybe. Oh, hello, hello. Uh, okay, lowercase. I think there is some trouble. So sorry for the disturbance.
Audible that time.
Okay, so we will look into the second question. So function is, so what is function? So block of statement to perform a specific task. It is fundamental modular of a unit, and it has name and
Your screen is not visible, sir.
screen is not visible. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, I think you are able to see it right now. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so what is function? So
D.
the good. So please everybody please try to you know type your answers in in the chat box so that I can see. So now we will look into the third question. So now this is about the operator precedence. So let's say you have a code, you are trying to evaluate an expression with this value. So 4 star 5 divided by 2 plus 9. So what will be the output of this particular program? So please type your answers in Google Meet. Good, good, good. 19 is the right answer. So can you tell some? Can somebody tell me what is happening with this statement? Please try to unmute yourself. So I will call somebody. So Chandrasekhar Koduru. So can you tell me what is happening with this particular thing? Please try to unmute yourself. Yes, Pavan, you are true. So if anybody is there would like to answer this question.
Like me.
Yeah, sure.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, you can answer.
First, division takes place. 5 divided by 2 gives 2.5. Multiplied by 4 gives 10. Plus 9 gives 19.
Okay, okay. So star and division has same precedence, right?
Sir, may I?
Yes, you can.
Star and divided by has the same precedence, but the associativity of star is uh, first. So
Hmm.
4 into 5 is 20, and
Okay.
divided by 2 will give 10,
Yes.
plus 9 will be giving 19. So answer goes 19.
Sure. Very good. Very good. That's the answer. So what is your name? Who is speaking? Uh,
Sir Nitya.
Nicha. Nicha, you are good. That is how the expression will be evaluated. So star and divided by having the same precedence, but associativity will come from the left to right, right? So at the both operations, so it will final result will be 19 in any case. But this is tricky question. But the answer,
Sir,
yeah,
sir, as it is an integer data type, 5 by 2 gives 2.5. As integer doesn't store floating value, and we get answer is 17, sir, not 19.
No, I think you need to just look into the. I mean, I will share the document. So you just need to look into that. So that is not how it should work. So basically, what Nicha said is right. So what happens is, so precedence of star divided by in plus. So in these three things, star and divided by either any one should go first, because it is having the highest I mean higher precedence than plus. In between star and plus, it is having the same precedence, right? So the associativity will come from left to right. So 4 star 5 will execute first, that means 4 into 5, that is equal to 20. Then the division operation performs because it is left to right, and so 20 divided by 2 equal to 10. Then that particular value will be added to 9, which is equal to 19. So this is how it will be. So you just need to look into that again, don't worry. It will take some time to get the hold of this particular thing. So now this is another interesting thing. So let's say what will be the output of the following C code. um, we have read the value, float value 7, and we are trying to evaluate a particular operation. So now what will be the output? Can somebody type it in the Google chat? So are you able to see me? I mean, see my screen? Obviously you can see me, so sorry. Okay, so I am getting different answers. Good. So what it will happen here is, so 13 divided by 5, 13 divided by 5 is like, this is the division operator. So it will not store the remainder, it will store, 13 divided by 5 means it will store 2. 2. So 2 into 7, 14.0 plus 10, 24. 24 is the output. Good. Yeah, 24.00. So that is what exactly it is. And finally we have the last question here. So it is about assigning a operation. So what is the value of b after execution of the following code? Int a equal to 7 and b equal to 10, and they are trying to do some operation, and what is the value of b after 10? So the right answer for this one, so we will just go line by line. So int a equal to 7 and b equal to 10. So that means a is assigned to one place and b is assigned to another place in the memory, and here we are doing the assignment operation. So a equal to b, that means we are trying to override the value of a with value of b. So that means a value will be 10 here, and b value remains the 10 as it is. So again b equal to a means, so we are trying to uh, you know override the value of b with value of a. So here it's like 10. I think 10 is the right answer for this question. Yeah, we are not printing anything, but just for your so b will be that. So what I will do is I will quickly share the document and we will wind up the class. So the viewer and so this is the Google Doc. So and I will try to post the same thing in my YouTube channel as well. You can go and check Venkata Sai Charan Putrevu. So and I will upload the video of this class in my YouTube channel, official YouTube channel, where I will share the link of this document as well. You can go and check it off. Okay. So that's all for this class. I think we are running bit late, so we will try to wrap up here, and probably I think I have seen that in the next lecture we will try to see the operators and conditional branching statements in the next class on the next Tuesday. So catch you guys on the next week. So have a good day. Bye. Thank you. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you everyone.